Hey, how's it going, guys? LCD Neffy here, and today I've actually got a video a lot of you guys might have never expected. We've got some Fortnite for you guys. Well, obviously it's a Fortnite tier list seasons from chapter 1, right? And obviously I used to play this game quite a bit. We're going to move to the next thing. I used to play this game quite a bit in this chapter 1. I haven't really played it a lot for chapter 2. I feel like they've ruined the game, but despite that, I bet none of you guys ever thought I'd be uploading another Fortnite related video to the channel. But guess what? I wanted to give my opinion, look back, also reminisce about the seasons on this game, what I think of it. So for this, we actually only have 5 categories. We have Elite. Because there's 10, I thought we'd only go with 5 categories because it's more or less 2 each, right? So the categories probably won't be clear. So we've got Elite at the very top. These are the seasons that I think they were really good. You know, they were the best seasons ever on the game. Pretty good is like a season where I probably enjoyed it, but like maybe some weeks of the season they had a bad update, or maybe that might even make that decent. But pretty good. I mean, the season as a whole, all around decent. It's probably going to be from seasons where it was just okay. Like it was just you know, like this season was good, but it wasn't that good. And then meh, obviously meh could be a season where I just didn't enjoy it, or you know, it was just bad. And then we have poor. Poor is like, this is one of the worst seasons going. So let's get this started off with season 1. Now, season 1 was obviously the start of this whole Fortnite Battle Royale. Go back to season 1. I remember playing it a decent amount. I got to around level 50. So I played it a decent amount, season 1. What do I think of season 1? It's definitely not poor because it was the base start. If I looked at it compared to all of these, it definitely could be poor. The gameplay was poor, that is. But I've got to go with how I felt at the time, and I'm probably going to say meh. Because I liked it and it made me want to play more. But it's when I played season 2, that's when I started like, oh yeah, this is actually really fun. Season 1, I was on and off with it at the time. I liked it. I just didn't want to play it all the time. So it's going to go in meh. Because I also remember there was like pre-season 1 as well, wasn't there? So there was like pre-season 1, but it's not season. So if we actually count that in with season 1, it's meh. Next, we have season 2. A lot of people think this is probably one of the greatest seasons. Season 2 was really enjoyable for me. I think I actually nearly made it to level 100 on this season. Really loved this season. But I don't think I'd say this is elite. This is our first pretty good season. I think maybe if I look back at it in the end, it could change to elite. But season 2 was where the base game was right. They upped it. My favourite landing spot in this season, in season 3, Anarchy Acres, man. They got rid of that spot too early, man. That was a great area to land, in my personal opinion. Everybody, if you remember Anarchy Acres, make sure you drop this video a like. What a great place Anarchy Acres was. Season 3, here we have our first elite. Season 3, whereas the game really picked up skill-wise and everything. This was actually my last season playing on console, so I played... No... playing fully on console. Season 4 I played on console and then I changed to PC during season 4. But this was the last one. This was super funny. I really enjoyed this season. I think this is... I'm putting it slightly ahead of season 2 just because of the new things they brought into season 3. And you know, I thought season 3 was pretty good season personally, yeah. Next we have season 4. I don't recall liking this one that much. So it's definitely going to be at the bottom. I thought season 4 was quite a boring season. They didn't manage to add on all the great things of season 3. This is before they started changing them up like massively. I think this is when they just put Dusty Divot into the game. And you know, it made it worse in my opinion. I really wasn't a big fan of this season. I thought it was pretty boring. I don't know if it's going to go in poor or meh. it's probably going to go in. If I'm comparing it to all these, it's going to go in meh. Um, it was one of the most boring seasons. I remember still playing this game a lot this season, but it was one of the more boring seasons. I could come back to the end and that put that in poor if I feel like it. Next, we have Season 5, by far my least favourite season. So unenjoyable. The spray meta with the drum guns was enjoyable. I just hated the meta for most of the season. They actually didn't get rid of that meta till the end of that season. I don't know, it was pretty bad. Like, just the pump, the spray meta. I think they introduced SMGs into Season 4, but they buffed them this season. This season was really unenjoyable with the meta. They took away Moisty Maya, they took away the race course and like updated them to Paradise Palms. I really ended up liking Paradise Palms, just not in this season. It was a massive hotspot. I really didn't like the meta in this season. People probably say this was one of the more fun seasons. I really didn't enjoy it at all. It was whoever got the sprays off first won. I know I didn't like that at all because I thought it was kind of RNG. But speaking of good seasons, Season 6 is one of my favourite seasons. This is when they started bringing it into like tournaments. Oh, we're going to have tournaments, guys. I think they did that in Season 5, but Season 6 when it picked up. Season 6, I really liked the Pump Deagle meta. I thought it was a lot better than the spray meta because the Deagle one-shotted walls in this season. So, and I really like that because even though it's kind of pingy dependent, it's less ping dependent than someone taking your wall with their pickaxe. That was like, and then jumping in a box. This could just fully just jump in boxes easy. You know, it's enjoyable. If you actually wanted to hit a headshot with the Deagle because it did high amount of damage, you'd actually have to have real precise aim with it. I don't know. I really like this season. They did change a few things up. I remember them having them orbs this season, right? Them shadow orbs. That was the first season they had them, right? Because it was like all Halloweeny. You know, they had the floating island going around the map from the cube. You know what? This season changed things up massively, and I really enjoyed that for it. Next, we have another good season. Season 7. The reason why I'm going to put this in pretty good, even though the gameplay base-wise is elite, the reason why I'm not putting Season 7 in elite is it would be probably my third favourite season, though, so I'll order it like that. The reason why Season 7 is not in elite is they got rid of Greasy Grove. That was one of my favourite landing spots Season 6. I really enjoyed Greasy Grove. And the ice area was really bad in my opinion. I didn't really like it at all. I like the inclusion of zip lines. I think that's what they needed. But I wasn't a big fan of the ice area that much. But they included something not a lot of people liked, which was planes. I actually didn't have a massive problem with planes. They definitely were. This is also another reason why it's not elite. They were too OP for most of the season. Once they had finally fixed planes being OP, it was too late, and then they just took them out of the game for the next season, right? They took them out for Season 8, in which we have Season 8. Now, Season 8 for me is neither here nor there. It's a pretty dull, pretty boring season, but you know what? I remember in this season I used a lot of the dual pistols. You know, the flintlock pistol was good in this season. I think the hunting rifle was actually really good in this season. They added the volcano to the top right of the map. You know, it had like a jungle element near that top right of the map. You know, got rid of Wailing Woods. You know, added some new places and stuff. But got rid of one of my favourite places in this season's, and my favourite place in Season 7, which was Risky Reels. I really enjoyed Risky Reels in Season 7. That's where I used to land a lot in that season. After they got rid of Greasy Grove, and then they got rid of it, so it was continuous theme. But you know, I think this goes in decent. You know, I had still pretty fun time on this season. Next, we have Season 9. This is where they introduced the combat shotgun, right? And I don't know if I think Season 8 they introduced the purple and gold tax. Or was that Season 7? That's also a good update. Season 9 they introduced combat pistol, neo tilted, stuff like that. Stuff that I really didn't like. I like the combat pistol. I mean the combat shotty. But the problem is that was never going to last. I think in this season they might have also introduced new pumps. This was a topsy-turvy season for me. I fell out of love with this season by the end of it. I thought they made some really poor updates. I still had quite a lot of fun on this season, but I feel like this is probably down there. It's one of the more forgetful seasons for me, so I'm going to put it in meh. Next, we have a pretty good season. However, Season X had a few problems. One, the mechs was so OP in this season. They only fixed them at the very end with probably like 3 weeks to go. However, I actually didn't mind the mechs before that. At the start of the season, they were kind of unbearable. They kind of fixed them a bit, and then even though they were still unbearable, they were easier to play against. But mechs, I don't know. I kind of like the map more. I thought the season as a whole, they got rid of the combat shotgun. You know, it was very pump-based gameplay, scar-based gameplay, and I actually really like that about this season. People had gotten better, and I think that kind of made everything else good about this season. That the fights were quite kind of entertaining. People was, and also on like creative, they started adding like zone wars and stuff to get people good. That's kind of enjoyable. I don't know. I really like this season, considering. I just don't know if this goes in pretty good or decent. I'm gonna like kind of balance this whole tier list out. Put it in decent. Put it above, just above season 8 though. I think I'm gonna bring 4 down. I think we're gonna have two each. I think 4 goes down to poor because I just remember how boring that season ended up being. And I was kind of glad for season 5, and I really didn't like season 5 either. Now this tier list might be controversial to a few people. I know a few people didn't like season 7; they hated it. But this is just my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you'd change. Let me know where you'd rank everything, guys. I appreciate everyone who's watched this video. Leave a thumbs up if you do. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. LCD Neffy, and I'm out.